sai ma tulaje muna godiya chairman ɗin kaunar Bello da Lusko gwamna ya sa ku kusa ido kuma mun tabbatar da chairman sai ma da sakataren tulaje za su sa ido insha Allah. Godiya muke dila. Godiya muke dila. Wa Allah godiya. Allah ya ba mu su dila muna wa Allah godiya.
Plateau State is known to be a state of variety. The state is blessed with rich mineral resources, beautiful tourist centers, cultural festivals, and a good favorable weather and climatic conditions, which allows for the cultivation of various vegetables. Though situated in the tropical zone, Plateau State has a near-temperate climate. Vegetables which thrives well on the plateau include celery, cabbage, broccoli, red bell peppers, tomatoes, beetroots, parsley, carrot, cauliflower, zucchini, radish, mint, cucumbers, and very many others.
We have these vegetables produced in virtually every local government of the state. And to a large extent, a lot of states, even our neighboring countries, rely on Plateau for these vegetables. So we can categorically say Plateau is the home of vegetables.
Vegetables in its broader sense are plant products. A vegetable is also commonly referred to as fresh, edible portion of a herbaceous plant roots, stems, or leaves. The climate, vegetation, and topography of Plateau State is suitable for the cultivation of these vegetables. They are grown throughout the year in Plateau State, using rain during the wet season and irrigation during the dry season.
Propagation of vegetable during wet season is that there is not much problem during wet season, because after you till the land, you cultivate, you do everything, you till the land, you are going to just leave it. You are just to leave it. The rain will do everything for you. There is no need of any chemical unless you are going to use the fertilizers and other this thing. While during dry season, you are going to apply some chemicals because of some paste that are bedeviling the crops. If let's say that we use we soak this thing during dry season, we must find some chemicals because there are so many pastes. The good is we have two different kind of vegetables. There are some that are growing inside the soil and some that are growing outside the soil. Those that are growing inside the soil, we are just taking it out from the root, while those that are growing outside the soil, we are just cutting it. The best time to harvest is immediately the time that it was grown, because vegetable is not kind of such good that when you left it in the farm, they can stay long. You can just leave, cultivate it immediately after it was been done. Then we are cultivating it based on its needy. If people are in need of it, even the time that it was not well ripe, we can even take it to the market because of need of people.
The direct application of animal manure and wastewater as an agricultural fertilizer has been practiced for a long time in Plateau State.
What we have done is the federal government policy, which the governor is so passionate about, because it's a roadmap, the green alternative. But even before the green alternative, we felt it was necessary for us to do some things. But by the time they came out with the green alternative roadmap, we saw that what we are doing is just exactly there. Now, you can't boost farming when you don't create the enabling environment. What is creating the enabling environment? You look at what are the challenges of the farmers. You look at what are the limitations of the state. You look at what are the federal or state regulations that can affect or slow productivity, farming productivity. Then you worked on these issues so that the farmer finds it easy to be able to increase his productivity, so that you don't see the farmer rushing to sell his produce even before they are harvested, you know, or you take the produce to the market because they are perishable by 3, 4 o'clock. They come, madam, this is 300, you sell it at a loss. So we don't want that to happen to our farmers, and we have taken measures. Government has given us the go-ahead to see what we can do, you know, fine-tune all the necessary rules and regulations, bring them together, discuss with the farmers to be able to help these vegetable sellers so that this particular season, as I speak to you, they are not going to lose.
We can control pests in different ways. There are some pesticide and insecticide that we are using it to control the pest in the farm. And let me say it like this, the introduction of this predator, we can even control our farm, tight a ladder on a stick just to control against bees.
Great testing of vegetables begins with proper storage. These vegetables are stored at room temperature.
The way of storing vegetable is based on the location or the place that the vegetable was took. When you take vegetable to the northern or southern part, you know, both the northern and the southern part, they are of hot season or hot weather there. It cannot take long time there unless if it was stored in the refrigerator. But here in Plateau State, we can even store it in our normal flow. We can just spread it in the flow, and after some up to 7, 6, or 8 days, there is nothing can harm the vegetable.
We know that there are small-scale storage facilities that the farmers have been arranging on their own, and GIZ has been helping us in the area of potato, and we know there's one private sector too that has a storage facility that can take about 45 metric tons. That's like over a trailer is 30 metric tons, over a trailer of different produce. So we want to encourage farmers to at least make do with these facilities for now. We are working on how to see how we can, increase storage facility for the various commodities. Fortunately, and though it's a challenge to us too, we have comparative advantage over virtually every farm produce. So we have so many commodities to take care of.
Vegetable business in Plateau State is one aspect of farming that is capable of bringing quick source of income. Majority of the farmers from different local government areas of the state convey their farm product to other parts of the country.
The market are found in building material here. Another place is from Farangada. That is second places. Then we found it at Maraban Forum. 3 places that I know. We normally buy it and sell it there. The whole Nigeria, we used to come and buy lot here. Every Tuesday market. They normally come and buy it here. People from Port Harcourt, people from anywhere, and other places, they are coming to buy it here. Onacha, Enugu, so other Sokoto, everywhere, they used to come and buy it here. Because this is the big market. Like cabbage, the one I have now. We buy it from the villages and we'll bring it here. We sell it at least one bag like this. It costs 5,000, 6,000 naira per bag. That is for cabbage. Then for these carrots, we used to sell the bag of carrots 7,000, 6,000 naira at the same time. For cucumber, 3,000, 4,000 naira per bag. Then that is the market.
Like this one is celery. With the parsley, with the sell is 100 naira. This one is celery. With the sell is 200. And this broccoli. With the sell 1 carton is 1,000. That's 3 pieces inside.
The carrot for basil is 3,005. Cucumbers the bag is 3,005. Green pepper the bag is 2,500. Green beans the bag is 1,006. Cabbage the bag 6,000.
Vegetables are among the major dietary intake of everyday life. Vegetables eaten fresh or boiled are used wholly as food. Vegetable recipes are a total joy. Edible plants or its part intended for cooking or eating raw. Many vegetable-based dishes exist in Plateau State, owing on their availability.
You're welcome to my kitchen. My name is Veronica Nanma. You can call me Vencil. We are going to prepare chicken casserole. Before we start, we need to look at the ingredients we are going to use. As you can see, we have onions, we have green pepper, we have green beans, we have seasoning here, we have our red pepper here, we have our celery leaf, we have eggs, vegetable oil. We also have our curry, thyme, carrots, tomato. Our chicken is here. We also have salt to test. Before we start, we need to wash our hands so that we can start properly. Now, after washing our hands, hygiene is very important. We can now get started. start with our meats. Have our meat here. Onions. Boiling our meat, we need enough onions. This is salt to taste. The quantity of your salt you are cooking. We have our seasoning here. While we wait for our meats to boil, we need to start chopping our vegetables like the green beans. Thank God we are blessed on the plateau with lots and lots of vegetables. Chicken casserole is less time consuming. You can cook it within few minutes. Mothers these days, we are always very busy, but with less time you can prepare something good for your family. We can now check our meats. Chicken is ready. As you can see, with chicken already inside. This is our carrots and green beans already washed. Remember I told you we already have our cooked potatoes here. We add to our soup. Our red pepper, sweet pepper goes in now. High time we put our egg. This is boiled eggs. This is our celery leaf. I prefer it this way because it's just to garnish and make your food very presentable. Very presentable, and we all know that is medicinal. Remember I earlier told you that this is a fast food. We are already through with our chicken casserole. We are about dishing it out now. This is our chicken casserole. As you can see, very attractive. Thank you very much.
We have 3 different categories or classes of vegetables, and so the first one basically is the one that is very common, the greens that we see out there. And to talk about greens, we all know that we have the vegetables which usually is the one that we commonly see, and anytime we take, we all know that we should be having an increased amount of water because of the amount of water that is usually seen inside greens. And so it also has other nutritional values, such as the reason of it having minerals and vitamins. And basically that is what distinguishes what vegetables are. And in these minerals and vitamins, we usually have this particular set of nutrients, and in greens we usually will talk about things like carotene. And when we say carotene, we mean that portion of the vegetable that usually helps give us the kind of sight that we need. It helps improve our sight, and then it also helps for the body to be able to produce vitamin A. And vitamin A basically is involved in responding to the immunity of the body system, and in this case I'm talking in terms of fighting diseases. And so you need vitamin A to be able to develop those soldiers in the body that help in fighting diseases. And so vegetables are very important to that extent.
Vegetable farming is one of the easiest agricultural engagements, and any kind of edible vegetable is always in hot demand all year round. Therefore, when the agricultural sector is properly managed and enhanced, it will greatly boost the country's economy.
Ramadan Mubarak! This season, StarTimes is bringing more value to you and your loved ones with Ramadan Upgrade promo. Recharge now and enjoy inspiring Islamic programs on Iqra TV, Sunnah TV, and many more. You can also enjoy top Filipino series, Gangs of Manila, which begins 1st of March, plus other great content. That's not all. Recharge 1 month on Nova Bouquet and get upgraded to Basic Bouquet. Recharge 1 month on Basic Bouquet and get upgraded to Classic Bouquet. Recharge 1 month on Classic Bouquet and get upgraded to Super Bouquet. Recharge 1 month on Super Bouquet and enjoy 5 days extra on us. Promo begins February 24th and ends March 31st. This Ramadan, enjoy more entertainment, get more knowledge, and receive more blessings. Hurry now, recharge.
Renewed Hope Initiative set to launch Flow with Confidence. Intervenes to distribute 370,000 cartons of disposable sanitary towels to schoolgirls. Troops eliminate 111 terrorists, rescue 75 victims as different theaters of operation intensify missions.
The success of the operation of the Air Force in securing critical assets is paramount to us.
Rivers State Government hands over a helicopter to Nigerian Air Force, boasts emergency response capabilities across Niger Delta region. Hello and welcome to the News Desk Cafe on NTA 24, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Mina Daniels. Senate suspends Senator Natasha Akpoti-Dagan for 6 months from 6 March for rules violation. The details in our subsequent bulletins. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says rather than see the joint observance of the holy month of Ramadan and Lenten season as mere coincidence, Nigerians should see it as God's way of demonstrating his desire for unity among them. She made the remark while addressing State House correspondents on the sideline of the 2025 RHI quarterly meeting with state coordinators.
Together is one God, and it's only going to be one God forever. So, and whichever means everybody is going to seek that God, this is the time to seek him. And because God is actually inside every human being, because we're created in his image. But when we say image, do we all look alike? No, we all have to just embody the character of God to be like God, you know, that created us, that wanted us to be like him. So, and that is about being God-fearing.
Ahead of this year's International Women's Day, slated for March 8th, the First Lady praised women in the country for building homes and making the nation proud.
It's Beijing, and the theme is all centered around Beijing after 3 decades. What have we done as women? Women, we've come a long way. Even from all the matriarchs of old, they've contributed, and up till now, women are doing phenomenal things. Look at our little Zuriel. You see what we can do? So I don't believe that Nigerian youths are not equipped or they have what it takes. And what does she do? Just an advocacy champion of what good she felt could be about peace. You know, and that's what we all, like I said, and women, I celebrate you. You know, keep doing what you know how to do, lifting your head high. And
Meanwhile, the Renewed Hope Initiative is set to launch Flow with Confidence, an intervention designed to distribute 370,000 cartons of disposable sanitary towels to schoolgirls across the country. The intervention, announced by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu at the first RHI quarterly meeting with state coordinators in 2025, headlines are the programs lined up by the initiative for implementation in the year. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
It is the first quarterly meeting of RHI state coordinators, and the conference room of the First Lady's office is abuzz with excitement and expectations as wives of state governors arrive to get their brief for the year. They all got a pat on the back from the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, who applauded their commitment towards the realization of RHI goals last year. For year 2025, the health of the girl child tops the agenda as she announces plan by RHI to provide them with disposable sanitary towels that will boost their confidence to attend school even while having their monthly flu.
I want you to personally hand over a carton of sanitary towels to each child that comes. I want you to consider those in the rural communities. Those are the ones who will concentrate on that cannot afford. So we're going to be giving 10,000 to each state.
Bothered about the threat posed by plastic waste to the environment, the First Lady outlines plans by RHI and the Ministry of Environment to enlist the support of students to protect the environment.
We are going to start with environment climate change clubs for secondary school, senior secondary school, not junior. Because they might have to go out, because we might have to clean beaches for those people who are in riverine areas. Either their waterways and things like that, you might want to go. And then environment, climate change society for students studying environment that are in the Faculty of Environment in various tertiary institutions. There's nothing wrong with the state having a recycling plant. So when you get to your various states, please intimate your husbands.
From where the initiative left off last year in the provision of business recapitalization grants to people with disabilities, the First Lady announced a plan to increase the grant to 250,000 naira for 250 beneficiaries per state.
And on the 24th March, there is the World TB Day. Community outreach will be in FCT for me.
In our projection for year 2025, the First Lady was upbeat about the new year, describing it as the year that love can birth great things for Nigeria. It is now time for that vision to move to the realm of reality, explaining why she's having this critical meeting with state RHI coordinators, ACO travelers, and the critical business of interventions. From the enthusiasm in the room, it is clear that the lot of families and other vulnerable groups in the country will get better in the unfolding year. In the State House, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Nasarawa State Government and the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, have agreed to work out modalities towards addressing issues of Amajiri and out-of-school children in the state. This was the fallout of a meeting between Governor Abdullahi Sule and the Executive Secretary of UBEC, Aisha Garba Ali Tijani, reports.
This is the first visit of the Executive Secretary of Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, Aisha Garba, to any state in the country since her appointment by President Bola Tinubu. The choice of Nasarawa State is strategic in view of the UBEC Smart School, established in the state few years ago. The visit, therefore, is to enable her access the progress made so far in the implementation of the Smart School initiative and how it can be replicated in other states. She commends the state government for the support in seeing the successful takeoff of the school as UBEC and Nasarawa state government explore areas of collaboration to reform Almajiri system of education as well as reduce number of out-of-school children.
Is to strengthen our collaboration and partnership in the delivery of basic education in the state, and to also help in terms of reducing the out-of-school children in Nigeria overall.
I want you to partner with us, ES, on the area of this Almajiri and out-of-school. You have a lot of experience on that, and I want you to help us and ensure that it works for us in Nasarawa State.
UBEC also thumbed up efforts of the state government in the payment of its counterpart fund and utilization to improve basic education in the state. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has called for an investigation into incessant flight delays in the aviation industry, as well as attendant economic losses for air passengers and businesses. Lawmakers at Thursday's plenary expressed worry that while flight delays and cancellations persist in the aviation industry, the 14 airlines evade liability for damages to travelers. The House called for a comprehensive probe and enforcement of punitive measures against the 14 air carriers.
For damage occasioned by delay of carriage of its passengers and their baggage, except the air carrier proves that that it and its servants or agents took all measures that could reasonably be required to avoid the damage. To mandate the House Committee on Aviation to cause the Ministry of Aviation to put a place protocol for the reinforcement of punitive measures against air carriers.
The House also resolved to investigate the utilization of bailout funds to government-owned enterprises, as well as ministries, departments, and agencies of government from 2015 till date.
Is worried that the persistent allegations of the diversion and mismanagement of these funds, as well as the potential failure to utilize them for their intended purposes, thereby undermining the effectiveness of vital public services and projects. The House is concerned that the significant financial losses resulting from the mismanagement of these funds represent a substantial drain on the public resources that could have been used for essential services and national development in line with Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution.
And Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has handed over a helicopter acquired by the Rivers State government to the Nigerian Air Force as part of his commitment to enhancing aerial surveillance and emergency response capabilities across the Niger Delta region. Osinachi Samuel reports that the ceremony was witnessed by the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar.
The helicopter is procured by Rivers State government and donated to the Special Operations Group of the Nigerian Air Force. Governor Siminalayi Fubara says the gesture is a demonstration of his administration's commitment to supporting the federal government in providing logistics and facilities that will enhance smooth and swift operation for the safeguard of lives and property of people within the oil-rich region.
When we received the request from the Chief of Air Staff that they are interested, if we'll be willing to donate it for security operation, we didn't hesitate. We brought it before the Executive Council and we deliberated on it, and we all agreed that the success of the operation of the Air Force in securing critical assets is paramount to us.
Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar says the helicopter, which is a strategic boost to national security, will no doubt add value to their operations.
We remain deeply grateful to the Rivers State government for its consistent support and dedication to our well-being over the nearly 6 decades that we have been here.
High point of the ceremony was the signing of the procurement documents between the Rivers State government and the Nigerian Air Force. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
Troops of the Nigerian military have in the last 7 days eliminated 111 terrorists across different theaters of operations. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kanye, announced this during the bi-weekly news conference at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. Apologize for the poor audio quality of our report. Let's now take a short breather. We'll be right back with more.
Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, and Voice of Nigeria, VON, cordially invite the general public to its 19th annual Ramadan lecture. Topic: Faith, politics and power, the involvement of ulama in politics and its implications. Guest lecturer Sheikh Maruf Onike Abdulaziz, Chief Missioner NASFAT Worldwide. Chairman of the occasion, Idi Mukhtar Meha, Minister of Livestock Development. Special guest of honor, Muhammad Idris, Minister of Information and National Orientation. Royal Father of the Day, His Highness Mala Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, Emir of Zazzau. Chief host, His Excellency Malam Ubasani, the Executive Governor, Kaduna State. Host, Manan Salu Abdul Hamid Dembos, Director General NTA. Dr. Muhammad Bulama, Director General FRCN. Malan Jibril Babandachi, Director General Voice of Nigeria. Venue, Lumana Multipurpose Center, River Close off Jabi Road East of Sultan Road, Kaduna. Date, 8 March 2025. Time, 9 a.m. Inshallah. For partnership or advert placement. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their socio-economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Thanks for joining us again. Civil society organizations are unifying efforts to ensure the repeal of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, which has passed first reading before the National Assembly. African Center for Leadership Strategy and Development, Ford Foundation, Side by Side Movement, Interfaith and Traditional Leaders for Gender Justice are at the forefront in the promotion of key issues. The organizations are appealing to the National Assembly to be considerate and embrace the prepositions in the bill for a robust reform that will bring about generational solutions of gender-based violence.
Matter of fact, it's very fundamental now because right from the time of COVID-19 till now, gender-based violence has been on the increase. And we need an accountability document, which the VAP Act represents,
it's a democracy, it's a process. It has just passed the first reading. And when we get to the public hearing aspect of it, that is when the interested parties will come and do the needful.
This underscores the urgent need for unified advocacy to safeguard the rights and dignity of vulnerable individuals, particularly women and girls.
The repeal process will also have a public hearing session that will project key areas that will answer to many salient questions capable of changing the narrative around gender-based issues in the country. The National Human Rights Commission has released the February 2025 Situation Dashboard, saying it received a total of 205,364 complaints across the 36 states of the Federation, with a 5% increase from January 2025. The dashboard, being the second edition for the year, is a reflection of the Commission's unwavering commitment to the promotion and protection of human rights of Nigerians. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, while acknowledging the need for a strong measure to combat crime, he emphasized that justice must be administered in line with international human rights standards.
As frontline human rights defenders in dealing with issues of women and children, the National Human Rights Commission has approved a child safeguarding policy. As there have been noticeable increase in the number of children who come in contact with the Commission staff, the policy is aimed at protection of children and young persons who use the services of the National Human Rights Commission from harm and ensure that they are treated with dignity and their human rights protected.
Is having this free-for-all violation of human rights. As a national human rights institution, it is our duty to call attention to state authorities on some of these new legislation.
The National Center for Disease Control and Prevention is working with actors in Nigeria's antimicrobial resistance response, devising ways to achieving total adherence to regulation on antibiotics use, accurate data collection, and strengthening surveillance. The latest effort is a surveillance and prescription support for antimicrobial stewardship resources capacity building for pharmacists, with the target on ensuring antibiotics are dispensed only by a doctor's prescription. Oluseye Adiabo has details.
Antimicrobial resistance, AMR, is becoming the greatest threat facing humanity, even as the World Health Organization predicted it to be the next global pandemic. Countries around the world have been making efforts to confront these looming crises, just as partners in the health sector continue to drive initiatives aimed at improving stewardship, enhancing surveillance, promoting research, and strengthening healthcare systems.
We have brought them here to let them know the importance of what develop of using data, what we call surveillance.
So no pharmacist is expected to actually dispense antimicrobials without prescription, whether in the hospital or in the community. So let's go back to the principles of prescription and dispensing.
Participants here are pharmacists from selected public health institutions across the country, and drivers of the project are using it to employ their expertise.
And the reason we are bringing people here in the room today is to make sure we can influence the desired change, to preserve our antibiotics, our medicines, so that when someone does fall sick, they can go to the hospital and given a tablet and it works.
So far, I've been equipped with enough knowledge to act as a leader when I go back to my facility.
And of course, we are also, from whatever we learn here, we are going to implement, actions that we ensure that antimicrobials are
Professor Samuel from Lautech Teaching Hospital, Oyo State, like other participants, are promising to transfer knowledge gained, as the experts are unanimous that AMR is a serious challenge in Nigeria, just as it is in some other countries. In Abuja, Oluseye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, has reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to a strong and ethical foreign service during the inauguration of the 174 trainees at the 26th regular course of the Foreign Service Academy in Abuja. Garabanatala reports.
These trainees will in the next 9 months be impacted with essential communication skills in diplomacy reporting, among other basics, as well as familiarize their understanding of the current policy thrust of this administration in preparation to becoming Nigeria's finest diplomats after the rigorous training.
I hereby pronounce the 26th regular course training program as inaugurated.
Bianca Ojukwu believes their admission reflects their potential and urges them to do the nation proud by abiding to international diplomatic standards.
Discipline is the watchword of every foreign service officer.
The lessons you learn here will shape your careers and define Nigeria's diplomatic engagements for years.
Government functionaries encouraged the participants to pay attention to their studies to take full advantage of various resource persons who are experts in the art of diplomacy.
I suggest that the FSA should and can engage into an affiliation program with any of the universities in Nigeria.
To be a civil servant, you must know what the rules and regulations are, and circulars come out from time to time to guide and address issues that we face in governance.
With a strong commitment to excellence, the participants of the 26th regular course at the Foreign Service Academy are expected to serve Nigeria and their host country with professionalism. In Abuja, Garab Muhammad Atala, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 3 on NTNS 24. Thanks for your company. I am Nina Daniels.
Advertising your goods and services on the right channel gives you an edge over your competitors. NTA News 24 has all the platforms for your target audience. With our digital format and wide range, we can reach your customers in next to no time. We are eager to promote your business, goods and services. So, partner with us for a very rewarding business experience. For more information, please call or visit our office at NTA Headquarters, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. NTA News 24. News and more news.
House of Representatives wraps up tax hearings, commits to reforms. Reps face tough questions from stakeholders during public engagement. And lawmakers back legislation aimed at strengthening capacity of security agencies to protect lives and property. From tax reforms aimed at boosting revenue to security funding and the state of education financing, how will these policies translate to real change? We'll find out just in a bit. Welcome to You and Your Reps. I am Victor Azu. The House of Representatives has assured Nigerians that their concerns will shape the final versions of 4 critical tax reform bills before Parliament. Now, at the close of a 3-day public hearing, Chairman of the House Committee on Finance, James Faleke, pledged that lawmakers would refine the bills to address key gaps raised by stakeholders, ensuring a more effective tax system. With the hearings now concluded, all eyes are on the National Assembly as it moves to finalize the bills before passage.
More individuals and groups appear before Parliament to dissect the tax reform bills as they affect or assuage their interests. The volatility of foreign exchange rate is the concern of licensed forex operators who appeal for tax exemption, among other propositions.
Most of the transactions done by the Bureau de Change will eventually be transferred to the end users. It will worsen the inflation as we depend highly on importations.
The tax ombudsman have jurisdiction nationwide, even on matters of fiscal policy. This is unconstitutional.
NIPC as the processing agency of the incentives should be empowered under this act to make recommendations to the President for amendment of the list.
Most taxpayers, sometimes we are able to track them. So we are asking that Section 85 of the current Personal Income Tax Act should be retained in the Nigerian tax bill.
The tendency of business enterprises in free trade zones to abuse tax exemption was also highlighted with advocacy for stronger regulations.
We have even seen worse cases of some free zone enterprises that want to import luxury vehicles, armored cars, yachts, some of them aircrafts.
Parliament received accolades for engaging Nigerians in the consideration of the tax bills, which many believe seek to advance national economic fortunes.
Nigerians expect that arising from this bill will be a regime that will recognize their sacrifices. They will also see the result of their sacrifices.
There is no law that is, no bill that is perfect. That is why because it comes to us as a proposal. And when it comes as a proposal, we present it to the public. We've done that now. Public have responded to us. We will now look at every detail. When we finish and we lay a report and it is discussed on the floor or debated and passed, we will compare with what the Senate passed. Any areas of differences, we will harmonize.
When the public hearing opened last Tuesday, House leaders assured Nigerians of a thorough review of the proposed tax reforms. Now, the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee defended the bills, saying they aim to simplify tax collection, seal revenue leaks, and create a business-friendly environment. But not everyone is convinced. Industry players and civil society groups warn that small businesses could bear the brunt, raising concerns about the implementation process.
The 4 proposed tax bills contain crucial reforms put forward by the executive arm of government to expand the nation's tax base and strengthen tax administration in Nigeria. The House leadership is confident that the bills will repeal archaic tax laws and modernize tax administration.
This public hearing will help us identify areas requiring amendment, clarification, and improvement, while also considering the compatibility of these bills with the 1999 Constitution.
Interest groups made observations bordering on definition and accreditation of tax agents, as well as the need to eliminate conflict of jurisdiction in tax administration and revenue collection.
We should encourage collaboration, integration of operations between customs and the tax authority, not to abolish customs or not to repeal a law because we want to do another law.
We want a situation whereby, tax practice as it is not just left to every or any professional body.
We are strongly of the opinion that VAT should remain at 7.5%. The threshold for tax exemption should be increased from the current 800,000 per annum as proposed in the bill to 2.5 million per annum.
The current bill is not offering you free trade zone. So what it means is that it will be retroactive when you apply the effect of that Section 142. So this is dangerous. It's going to create unnecessary litigations.
You can set to the turn of 25% in custom area without any taxes. But anything you sell beyond that 25, you will be subjected as if you produce it within custom area. The only tools, and I repeat, to validate whether you sell outside or not, is to ask all of you to go and bring your remittance from CPN. You will see that all of them will run.
Other concerns border on separation of powers in the board of the proposed Nigeria Revenue Service and clarification on tax for personal and family income.
This provision is not new, number one. Number two, is not in any way introducing inheritance tax. And by the way, this is the income of the state, not the federal government. Why would we want to do that?
The Chief Executive Officer of the proposed Nigerian Revenue Service, being not only the Chief Executive, but also the Chairman of the Governing Board, we recommend that these two roles should be separated.
We seek clarification that there's no total clarity on the position of taxation of non-resident companies.
And the House of Representatives is backing legislation aimed at strengthening the capacity of security agencies to protect lives and property. Now, this commitment was made at another public hearing on a bill to establish the Nigeria Security and Intelligence Trust Fund.
Security experts here agree that Nigeria's security and intelligence agencies are underfunded in the face of growing criminality. The bill seeking establishment of Nigeria's Security and Intelligence Trust Fund is described as timely to address budget shortfalls and funding gaps that hinder the capacities of security agencies to deliver on their mandate.
The bill is actually to provide alternative funding for the intelligence agency outside the budgetary allocation to reduce the burden and dependence on budget allocation.
And enhance capacity for intelligence gathering, training, equipment, with overall aim of nipping security challenges in the bud.
At another public hearing on bills to establish 10 federal colleges of education, there is consensus that Nigeria's growing population places a demand for more teacher training institutions.
The proposed Federal College of Education Technical Pascari Kasana State will address the seeming imbalance in the spread of the such colleges in the Northwest Geopolitical Zone.
And when we establish schools, these schools must reflect the new thinking, the new worldview.
Meanwhile, the Southeast Caucus in the House of Representatives has appealed to the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, to consider reopening the Onitsha Bridgehead Market in Anambra State.
The wholesome and indefinite sealing of a market that caters for over 90% of the medication needs of the Southeast and South-South regions may not be the best approach. More so when it is considered that many of the other traders in the same market are genuine businessmen and women.
The Onitsha Bridgehead Market was sealed by NAFDAC as part of a nationwide raid on fake and substandard medicines in the country.
What exactly is an enabling act? Now, the chairman of the House Committee on Rules and Business, Francis Waiva, explains its role in shaping laws on specific issues. Let's hear from him.
The term enabling act is used to refer in a discussion to the act of parliament that gives power to a particular issue. For instance, if you are discussing elections and you want to refer to the Electoral Act, the Electoral Act 2022, for example, is the enabling act for the elections that took place in 2023, the general elections of 2023. And presently, the enabling act for any elections in the country until we go on to amend the Electoral Act. I'm talking specifically of the Electoral Act as an example. So in any issue, the law, the act of parliament that has been signed into law that deals with that specific issue, that becomes the enabling act for that particular matter. That what gives credence, that gives power, gives authority to that particular issue. And that